pretty quick. So the first one, and y'all, I think some of them might be like not completely in the same order because there's like big gaps on the pages, so they may be in a little bit of a different order, but the same questions. So on number 1, it says classify by degree. So it's not asking how many terms there are, it's just what is that little exponent, and it is a 4. Does everybody see that? And 4 means quartic, like 4 quarters. Quartic. So your answer would be A. Okay?
So it's just the first.
So it's the highest exponent. So 4 would be quartic. If it was a 5, we would put quintic. If it was a 3, we would put cubic. And if it was a 2, we would put quadratic. Okay? Does everybody understand that one? Yes? So look, I'll write that here. Quartic is 4, quintic is 5, quadratic is 2, and cubic is 3.
What if it doesn't have an exponent? Or they always have an exponent?
Let's see. If it was like 2x plus 1, I think that would just be linear. And if it was just the number -2, I think that would be a constant. But it's not gonna do that. But that is possibility, but probably not on this quiz. Okay? Or on these tests. All right, are we good with number 1? We're ready. Is anybody still writing? Chloe, you need a second?
Are you gonna take it all the way off?
I was just no, I'm just moving it up a tad bit. Okay. But I don't want to go on without you if you're not ready. Oh, and y'all, please bring your calculator tomorrow. But actually, since it's a partner, if somebody forgets, it's fine. I will not have my calculator here tomorrow to be borrowed. So bring yours, or if you need to borrow somebody else's, I'm lending it out just for a day. Okay. All right, number 2. It says, look at your leading term, and it wants to know the end behavior. Look, you can completely ignore all these words on all of them, right? What's important is the end behavior answer choices. That's what you're looking for. Now, I do exactly what they say, and I look at this. You can always graph it if you want to, and just read what the end behavior says. Me, I know that since it's an odd number, the exponent, that they're going different ways. So I know it can't be down and down, and it can't be up and up, since they're going different ways. So I've already eliminated some. And then it's going like this, so it's up, then down. Okay, so I would look for the behavior is up and down. So it's C. But y'all, if that confuses you, then you just need to take out your calculator, go to y equals -3x. Oh, let me clear it out. -3x to the third minus x. And I'll graph. I'm just going to press zoom 6. And what does that say? Up, then down. Okay? Are we good either way? Yeah?
Wait.
Uh-huh.
If you do it the first way, how do you get the...
Well, if it's an odd exponent, that 3, if it's 3, 5, 7, then they're going different ways. Okay? If it was an even number, 2, 4, 6 up there, then they're going up and up or down the same way, down and down. So you can already eliminate half the answer choices. Okay? Since it's a negative out front, you know it's going to be going down. So you would say up, then down. Okay? If it was positive, it would look like this, and it would be going what? Down, then up. Okay? But if I were you, I would try to do it that way, and then I would check myself by graphing it. Okay? And all the rest of that is just a whole bunch of words that you really, I just kind of ignore all that. Okay, everybody good so far? Yeah, I don't know, I can't remember how many are on there, but we'll see. I'm going to skip going over this one. It's not on there. But this one is. So you will graph it. Okay, I could look at it without graphing. And what's really important too is at the bottom under each graph, it describes the end behavior. So check and make sure that that's written correctly. All right. You can type it in just like that. If it were me, I would know it's gone to the left 2 and down 3, right? Which is not either one of those. So that would already help me know it's either A or C.
Let's see.
But and then it's positive, so it's going up. I can do that without graphing, okay? And then it would be down and up. But let's graph it, okay? And you can type it in just like they have it. So if you go to y equals 3, and then they have parentheses, so we have parentheses. X plus 2 to the third minus 3. Everybody good with that? And then, yeah.
How did you get your thingamajigger to do that without having
What?
the exponent?
To the third?
Yeah, I should just click it like that.
Oh, I cleared it. Hold on, I'll do it again. 3 times, hold on, x plus 2. I press the up arrow.
Oh, that works?
I press the little up arrow, and then I put a 3 in there. It depends, what kind of calculator do you have? Like, because the older one, it shows the up arrow. I don't know if yours, if it shows, but if it shows the up arrow, it's fine.
Mine just makes me press, or I thought I had to press the little square button and then go back.
Oh, okay. But did this work for you? Okay, there you go. All right, then if we graph it, then you just compare it, y'all. Which one does it match? This answer choice, okay? Which sometimes, if you're confused on, like, I don't want you to write the wrong letter, like, always feel free to, if you can't tell which one it is, just circle the right one. Does that make sense? Because I've had people mix up letters before. So just, when in doubt, just circle the whole graph, okay? And then the end behavior is down and then up. Okay. Are we good with that? So far, so good. All right. Then it goes to, so that's like our first lesson in this chapter. Now we're getting to factoring. This is the second lesson in the chapter. Okay? So we're just going to take this little expression. I'm going to rewrite it. Can y'all see the red okay? Or do I need to change colors? That's fine? Okay. Now, they all have an x. So that's the first, I'm going to factor it basically twice. So the first thing I'm going to pull out is an x. So what all's left over? I would still have, it's basically dividing it out. I would have an x squared, a 2x, and a minus 15. Does everybody see that? I only pulled one x from each of those terms. Yes. And it's right there. We're not going to forget about it. No questions so far? Then, it's not granny glasses or any of that. I'm going to do my 2 parentheses. And what goes at the front of it? X and x. And I'm going to find factors of negative 15. What times what is negative 15? Negative 5 and 3, 5 and negative 3. What adds up to a positive 2?
Plus 5 minus 3.
Plus 5 minus 3.
And that's all.
So you would have to find the one that has an x plus 5, and an x minus 3. And which answer is that? B. It's B. Yeah, it is. It's not in the same order. That doesn't matter. Okay, just look and make sure there's an x out there. See, that one's not right, and neither is that one. A and D are not close. But then I have an x plus 5 and an x minus 3. Question?
No, I'm on number 4 on my paper. I have number and the ones you've done.
Oh, yeah, I skipped one of them. There's an extra one that's not on there. It was just graph. It was like graph. Mm-mm. This is just a quiz review. But I can print another one out for y'all, like right after this if anybody wants one. Like, and I can change the numbers. Because this should be on the video. So is everybody good with the factoring? Yeah, I am videoing, and I'm hoping that the sound works. Because I think I have figured that out. I think I figured that problem out. All right. Number 6. This one, y'all, I'm going to cover up the graphs real quick. I know it's got all the answers right there. But this one is not multiple choice. Okay, so let's pretend that it's not multiple choice. All right, I'm just going to cover up some of that. Okay, so they tell me for number 6, y equals, and they've got x minus 2, and x plus 5. The first part says, what are the zeros? You must answer that. What are my zeros? 0. Does everybody know where that came from? Anytime there's just an x out there, x is 0. Okay, if it was a 2x out there, x would be 0. All right? For this one, what's my 0? 2. Because what minus 2 is 0? 2 minus 2. Okay, and what's this one? Negative 5. Does everybody understand those 3 zeros? Yeah? Some of you on your worksheet, I need to try and pass back papers today. Some of y'all tried to put a 0 when there wasn't an x there, and that wasn't right. Okay? And I wrote that on that paper, so check your papers today. Now let me draw my zeros. So I'm going to put them at 0 and 2 and 2, 3, 4, 5, negative 5. Is everybody okay with that one? Then what are we going to do? What does the next thing say? Graph it. Okay, so I have a bunch of points, but I kind of need to see where some of the other stuff goes. So I'm going to type in, am I going too fast for anybody? Y'all tell me to slow down if I need to. So I'm going to type in x minus 2, x plus 5. Everybody good? And then I graph it. Okay, I can't see this one. Where does this one look like it's at? 1 and then negative 6. I might look at my table. Yep, 1, negative 6. Does everybody see what I'm doing? I'm just trying to find 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it looks like it goes down, off the chart. There we go.
So you need to find one that's below it so you can draw it, or?
So, yeah, you need to find, if it's on there, if it can be on your graph, just kind of find it. Which you can do, and on this one, it's like that, it's more than 10. So, I'm not going to go and find that one. I'm just going to kind of draw like a little gap, okay? But on this one, I can count, and I can see that's over 1 and down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so I could go over 1 and down 6. That way it looks a little bit more exact. That one I can't do anything with. It's off my graph. Does that make sense, y'all? Mainly I'm going to look for these 3 points and then like something close to that. Can I erase, or are y'all still writing? I can erase it. All right, then the next one. Let's see. Okay, this one's probably one that has a little bit more work to it. It says, here are your zeros. Write this in standard form. It's not difficult, y'all. It's just time consuming. Okay, you actually have to put forth some effort and some work. So if those are my zeros, how would I write that polynomial? I would write x, what? Plus 4. Does everybody know where that's coming from? That one right there. What would be the next one you would want to write? X minus 4. That's the one I would write next. X minus 4. That would be that one, right? And since those are opposite, it makes it easier to multiply those first. And then what's the last one I would write? X plus 5. It's always the opposite. X plus 5. Okay. So I've started my polynomial, and I could put my y equals, but I'm not even worried about that. Right now, I'm worried about distributing or foiling all this out. Okay? Everybody's good with where those things came from? Yeah? Now, what is, let's take these two, just these two. X times x. X squared. X times negative 4. Minus 4x. And some of y'all might skip writing this. I would. 4 times x. 4x. What happened there? It canceled out. And then what's 4 times negative 4? Negative 16. Okay? And then I still have my x plus 5. So, some of you probably could have just come to this part right here. X squared minus 16. And that's x plus 5. Then what do we have to do? Again, FOIL it out. Okay? Or distribute it. Are we good so far?
Wait, can I get that?
Yeah, I'll stop for a second.
What's 16 times 5?
80?
I forget how to calculate it.
But it should be negative. Okay, are we ready? So if I do x squared times x, that's x to the third. X squared times 5, 5x squared. Negative 16 times x, negative 16x. And then negative 16 times 5, minus 80. Yeah, negative 80. And then you just look for your answer that has that a plus 5x, a minus 16, minus 8. It's D. Okay? That one's probably the one that has the most work to it.
Is that one 5x
Are we not
squared or
doing
cubed?
This is a 5x squared.
Okay, that's my fault.
Sorry, I can, hold on, let me just erase it. What did you say, Chloe?
We're not doing like the other stuff that we were doing today.
The bad stuff? Mm-mm. No, I do have where we have to find a maximum and a minimum, relative max and relative min, and then like some solve by graphing. That was one of the hard. That was the same day as, or the next day after the hard stuff. That solve by graphing. No division on here. Okay, can I erase or am I writing? I can erase. Oh, just a
You're
second.
good. Let me just take a picture of it. I got the first part.
Okay.
Okay.
I think I really didn't erase much, did I?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me just second. Let me see. That you erased it.
I didn't hear you. I didn't hear you right. I never would have done that on purpose. You know that.
You said okay.
Yeah, sometimes I just do that. I don't,
Okay.
sorry.
That's exactly how it went
Quick
down.
question on here.
You could have written it the other way, like the x minus 4 and then the x plus 5 and then the x plus 4. But if you put the ones that are opposites together, stuff cancels out. And it makes it easier in the beginning. Yeah. That doesn't always happen though. But
In random order, I didn't know why.
yeah, it was because like I was looking ahead and I was trying to make it easier. Okay, y'all, on this one, what are the zeros and then their multiplicities? There's answer choices. I'm going to cover them up, though, just so I have room to figure out the problem. So the first thing I'm going to do is factor it. Then I can know all the zeros and their multiplicities. All you have to do is factor. And we've already done some with factoring. What can I factor out of all three of those? An x squared. Does everybody see that? That all of them have an x squared. So what's left over? An x squared, right? Because I pulled 2 out, there's still 2 in there. Minus 4x, then what? Plus 3. So look at it real quick and make sure you understand where I got x squared from and why those are the things that were left. You were looking for what was common in all of them. That one has at least 2 x's, that one has at least 2 x's, and that one does 2. So how many did I factor out? 2. Okay, and then I just wrote what was left over. You have to factor out the most that you can. Then what do we have to do on this part? We still have to factor it. So So I'm just going to write my 2 parentheses. So what goes at the front of them? X and X. And I'm going to find factors of 3. Yep, it's just 3 and 1, but Chloe's right. They both have to be negative because what do they have to add to? Negative 4. So, and I'll look at the answer choices in a second, but what are my 3 zeros? I have 3 zeros. They are 0, what's that one? 3, and 1. And now it says, what are their multiplicities? That just means how many times are they a 0? Well, for this one, how many x's are there? 2. So that's 0 with multiplicity of 2. I'm just going to abbreviate. I'm going to put multiplicity or mult 2. That's got a multiplicity of 2. How many times do I see x minus 3? Just once, right? So that's multiplicity of what? 1. Oops. And how many times do I see x minus 1? Just once. So that's multiplicity of 1 as well. Does everybody understand? Yes?
So like you have to write that answer and that answer. Like
yeah, and you're going to see, I'm going to move this in a second, or I can move it, but it's going to look messy. So look, can I erase that top part? Or is anybody still on the factor part? Is anybody still writing the factor part down? No? Okay, so I'm going to erase that so you can kind of see what the answer choices would look like on your quiz. Let me put that underneath so it doesn't look so confusing. So those were our 3 answers. So it says the numbers -1 and -3, those were not even answers. The number 0, multiplicity 2, I got that. The numbers 1 and 3, multiplicity 1. So that's our answer B. Does that make sense? Okay. So it just lists the zeros and then their multiplicity.
How many questions are on the quiz?
I don't even know. So far we're at 7, aren't we? Okay. I mean, I can look in a minute. I just can't remember off the top of my head. Number 9 is on here, and see, in a second we're going to skip 10. I didn't put 10 on there. That's that whole real and imaginary roots and stuff. All right, this one asks for the relative max and the relative min. So what are you going to do? We're going to graph and find them. Now look, here's a hint. I want everybody to look at whenever we go to look at our window, what are our answer choices like? Our x values are all what? Small 1-digit numbers. What do you notice about your y values? Some of them go to like 80. So when you go to do your window for your y, I would go to like 100. Does everybody understand that? I don't know if it's needed or not. Some of them only go to 28. But I'm just going to go to 100. Okay? So I'm going to graph. So y equals x to the third plus 3x squared minus 24x. Okay, and everybody okay with that? Now I'm going to go to my window, and I said I'm just going to change my y. My y value, I'll go from -100 to 100. And I have no idea if that's even needed. Okay, we'll see. Might only need to go to 50. That looks good. Okay, does everybody see your relative max and your relative min? This right here is the relative maximum, and that right there is the relative minimum. So how do we find them? We press second trace. Yep. So I'm going to press second trace. Let's go to the maximum first. So you could just click number 4. And I'm going to go over here, and then what do? We go to the left of it, press enter, to the right of it, press enter, and back to it. And so what's my relative maximum?
80.
So it looks like -480. They have ordered pairs. So I'll just write the whole ordered pair, but it's -480. Everybody good with that one? Now what are we going to find? The minimum. So we press second trace number 3 and scroll over here. So I'm to the left of it, press enter, to the right of it, press enter, and back to it. And that is, it looks like what? 2, negative 28. And let me make sure, okay, so that was my max. I don't want to get them confused. And that was my min. So when I look at my answer choices, the relative maximum is what? So that looks like answer choice B. And let's check and make sure, and that one looks right. See how they're all the same kind of numbers, but some are positive and some are negative? So just be careful on that. Okay, don't let that trick you tomorrow. Is everybody good with answer choice B? Yep. Is this too easy? No. Some of you, yeah.
What did you even make your window right there?
I did. Look. This is my window. I went from. I kept my X values the same. Because all my X values were just 1-digit numbers on my answer choice. But my Y values went to about 80. So I changed my Y min and my Y max. Okay, I just did that by looking at my answer choices. Sometimes that'll make things really fast, right? If you just look at those and see. Okay, let's see what else we have. I'm not doing that one on there. I think we'll do 2 of these. So what number were we on? Was that 9 that we were just on? No, was that 8? We were on 9, but I think that's 8 problems. Okay. This one says find the real solutions by graphing. Let's do 2 of these. I think there's only 1 on there. All right, but we need practice. So I'm going to press y equals and we graph. All right. So x squared plus 2x plus 2. And if I press, oh wait, let me zoom 6 because mine's way out. Okay, really quick, we can match that graph in just a second. But where are my solutions? Where does it cross the x-axis? It doesn't. So that one is no solution, okay? And it looks like it might be A. Let me just compare it. Yeah, it's got to be answer choice A because it's kind of to the left a little bit. Do we understand that one? Do we understand why there was no solution? Your solutions are where they cross the x-axis. It didn't, so it was no solution. It was like way up high. It was too high up. It needed to come down some. But we'll do one. This one's going to have some answers. The next one is probably more like what's on the quiz. Anybody writing still?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Are we good? Okay. All right, so let's try, I think this is our last one. Okay. This is probably more like what's on there. So we will graph it and then we will find our answers. So I will press y equals and I'll do negative 5x to the third minus 4x squared plus 10x. Okay, the equals 0, that's what I'm trying to find. That's the roots, that's the zeros. And then I'll press graph. 1, 2, how many answers do you think there are? How many times does it cross the x-axis? 3. So I should get 3 answers, okay? It looks like, what does it look like they are? It looks negative 2, 0, and 1. But what do you notice about their answer choices? They're all decimals, but I can already tell which one it is. Can y'all tell which ones look like negative 2, 0, and 1? Yeah, it's this one right here. But really quick, let's just go over how you would find, we'll just do one of them. So we would press, or do you need me to say something again? Yeah, do you want me to say it again? You got it? Okay, well, she does. Okay, so your answers are where it crosses the x-axis. The roots, that's right here, and right here. So it looks like it's at -2, 0, and 1. We estimated where we think it is. Look at their answers. They found exact answers, okay? So that's what we're going to do. I can already tell that's the only one that really matches it. So that's my answer, but I do want to show you how we find them. And so we press second trace, and then what number?
0.
Yeah, the zeros. We're trying to find the zeros because the equation, it was equal to 0. So which one do y'all want to find? The one on the left or the one on the right? The left. Okay, so let me scroll over here. Oh, my goodness. Okay. So I'm going to go to the left of it and press enter. To the right a couple times, press enter. And back to it. And what does that one say? -1.87. So see how that matched theirs? And then that would be the third one.
Can you do that, what you just said in one place?
Yeah, so I'm trying to find the exact values. So I press second trace, and the zeros are where it crosses, that's where they're 0. So that's why you click on the number 2, okay? And then I told her to pick which one, and she said, let's do the one on the far left. So I'm scrolled over there to it. So I go to the left of it, and I press enter. It's just like a max or min. I go to the right a couple times and press enter, and then I go back to it. That's as close as I can get, and I press enter. So what's that 0 right there?
-1.86.
Yeah, and that's what they have right here, okay? And that one's 0, which I can see it on my graph and on theirs. And then we could find the next one, but it's a little bit over 1. Okay, are we good with that?
Yes, but when you go back to like the original problem, like the y equals.
Oh, right here at the top?
Yeah.
Yeah, and see how it's equal to 0? That's how you know you're finding the zeros. Okay? And I think that's our last problem. That might be like 9. I'm not sure. Let me see. That's not it. I think I'll make a little review. All right, open. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.